This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, Karen, give me 1 minute.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, Karen, tell me.
No, sir, nothing. I was not able to hear you. That is why I just.
Okay. Right, let's continue then. So I think we missed it there. I think we are at hooks we discussed. I think Hughes reducer, Hughes callback
Yeah,
hook we discussed it, right?
custom
So
hooks.
now, yeah, I have to talk about the concept called custom hooks, right? So custom hooks as well as one more is missed in the custom hooks. That is going to be use ref hook. Use ref hook. So this is also one more hook we didn't discuss. Let us talk about these hooks. Once these hooks are completed, I will discuss about regex. It is going to be the next concept will be regex. And some of the concepts also I missed HOC, higher order components, and React fragments, and these things we need to discuss. Right. So this is the parts we have to discuss. Maybe Redux will take 2 sessions around, I believe. HOC, just one session. These two we can complete in one session. I think they won't be done. So maximum by 12 we can finish this. Before 12, I mean 11. By 11 we can complete this. If anything missed, you can let me know and we will discuss those also. Right. Fine. Anyhow, let me start about the user of hook. Then we can go for the right. Already we discussed refs concept in class component. So this is in the class component how we worked with ref concept. That is nothing. What is a ref here? First of all, a ref is a reference in the document. In the document you may have so many elements. To these so many elements, I want to access the specific element from the document. Definitely we have a lot of ways are there, and ref is also one concept. Ref is nothing but ref. For example, you have a div in our HTML. If it is a JavaScript, how can we access this div? Simply says now this is going to be accessed with the help of, right, you can check this document.get element by id. So what is ID? The data div. This is exactly we can access it. For example, you want to design this div. Let us take var div equal to something. If you want to design this div dot style dot property, some property color colon red, something like this, we will design it, right? So we know already red color. So if you want to design the same element with multiple properties, we can add the property with name called css text. Style dot css text is the property. By using this we can add multiple styles to an element. So this is what we see in the JavaScript. Now the same div is in React. The same div is in React. Already we worked in the class component, the same story. If it is in a class component, this is the div you are having. If it is in a class component, first of all we have to create a ref. How we create a ref here? Let us take one variable const div ref equal to, I'm going to create a ref. There is a library react dot create ref is the thing. So ref will be created. Once ref will be created, we have to bind that ref to that element by using ref attribute. Ref is equal to div ref. Now we can access this element wherever you want. For example, I want to design this. I am going to component did mount. So once the component is completely rendered, this will be called. Inside of it, I want to access this dot div ref. You have to take like this because it's a class component, right? So not const. In this we cannot see const. Actually, this also should be created in constructor. In the constructor function only, we have to create the ref. Why constructor function only? We know that if you can write the logic in the constructor, that is going to be available for each and every of our methods, right? That's why we written something in the constructor, right? The same you can see now, div id ref we binded, and to this you want to design. Right now you can see style.css text. Can you compare it, the above and below? So this is completely JavaScript way. The above is JavaScript, the below is React. So ref should be created in the constructor, the ref should be binded to an element, and it is going to be designed. The same concept, now we are going to implement it into the functional component. Let us see. If it is a functional component, we have to import a hook. Import, there is a hook called useRef from React. This should be imported. Once this is imported, so now what we need to do, we have to create the ref. So now you can see const div ref. This is a functional component, so use ref, that's all. You can take this, nothing, you can pass empty value to this, nothing, or null value you can pass, or anything, you can leave it empty also, okay. So once this ref is created, how to bind the ref? The same story again, by using div ref. Now the same, you can take it, this is the same. Once ref is created in the JSX, we can add the ref to an element like this. Ref is created. In the use effect component did mount equivalent is going to be use effect. So in the use effect hook, what we will do, we will write some logic for it. So this is going to be the thing. So the same, you can write this as a div ref. It is going to be equal to, sorry, div ref dot div ref dot style dot CSS text is equal to the same. Let us implement the same story by using functional component with the ref. We already seen in the class component, the same I want to see in the functional component. Let me create a file. So ref hook demo. I'm creating a file with the name ref hook demo.js. You can take any name here. It is your choice. It is the functional component RFC. Let us create the functional component, right? Now I have a div. Already we have a div. Let us do one thing. I'm taking an input element. Input type equal to text. Let us take something called type equal to text. Let me div class is equal to form group. Inside of it, let me take this input field. I have to take one label, username. Now this is going to be input field. I think there is a class called form control. Earlier we created, I believe, this for while working with form handling. Let me go and take this ref hook demo. Ref hook demo. Right, done. Now if you can refresh the page, now execute it, localhost colon 3000, and you can see the output. Yeah, input field coming. This is okay. Now on load the page, I have to keep the cursor inside the text box. Cursor should blink inside the text box. Already we implemented the same functionality in the class component, right? So first of all, to make the cursor inside the div, we have to write. We have to use a useref hook. Let me go and top, and I'm going to import that hook. The hook is going to be useref. This is the hook we are having. So in the component, I'm creating const input ref. I'm creating something called input ref equal to. I'm going to write the method useref is the hook. Use ref. Useref is the hook. Inside of it, you can pass a null value or empty. We don't want to set anything to it. Now you can see input ref should be binded to this element, right? Ref is equal to input ref. Yeah, input ref is binded. That's all. Ref created and ref is appended to the element. Now onwards, we can use this ref variable wherever you want. I mean, for example, I want to go and I want to write use effect hookup. Let me go for use effect. Yeah, it is imported on the top. So in use effect hook, there is a callback function and a dependency array. Now you can see I want to call that input ref when when use ref will be called once document has been completely loaded, if there is any update, and if it is unmounted, use ref hook will be called, use effect will hook will be called automatically. Now I'm writing input ref dot see style dot the same. You have style dot CSS text equal to something. What is a something? Now you can see I am writing some border. Already you have provided some border to it for the input element. Now I'm going to provide some other value. Let me see. Already we have border, right? That is 1 pixel, 2 pixel solid. I'm taking this as a red color border. Now you can check this whether the red is applied. Oh, red color. Oh, it is having some error. CSS texting cannot set the properties of undefined. So what is this properties of undefined? Can you check this? What is the error I'm getting here? Input ref. Okay. Oh my God. First of all, you can check this. We are missing this. What is this? First of all, you can log the message console.log of input ref. We can't write it directly, right? There is one. This is an object. Now you can see in the console, you will understand why that is not working. It will have, it is an object with an element called current. Now you can see. Now I'm refreshing the page. Can you see? You are having an element something. Can you see? This is the current. What is the current element? Dot form dot input control. I think you have to take something like this. Let us name that attribute as class name. This is also going to be class name. Definitely you have tried input dot current. This is we are missing. It may be in a class component, it may be in a functional component. Definitely you have to write input dot current. Now you can see the element is printed. Now you have to write the style.css text. So first we missed this actually. So that's the reason it's always good idea when you are printing a variable, before printing it, first console.log. You can see the data, what you are having inside of it. It's an object, it's an arena, or it's a simple string. So we can easily understand, right? So it is going to be style.css text. This will be works now. It is going to be border. You can take this BOR dear border 2 pixel solid red, something I taken. Now you can check this. Red is applied. No, yes, red is applied. This is how we can check the things. Red color is applied. So not only this red color, not only this element, you can take many number of elements here. It's not a problem. So you can take any of the elements you want. No worries about it, right? Let me do one thing. I'm removing all unnecessary, right? So now if we can refresh the page, everything is fine for me. Now what I want to do, you can take some other element. Now you can go there and you can take some h1 tag here. I'm taking some h1 tag. It is going to be refs demo. I'm taking something called refs demo. So for this also you want to set something. Right now you can see I got the heading. For this also you want to set. You can create one more ref. I'm going to create the ref is going to be title ref. I'm writing something called title ref. To this you have to bind it title. Sorry, ref is equal to attribute ref equal to title ref is the ref we created. Now title ref is going to be binded to the following element. Again, onload the page. You want to do anything for this title ref? Yeah, you can come there and you can write this as a title ref dot current. In this current, we have to write dot style dot, not only style, you can style dot design. So what is the design? I can provide color equal to just one property only, color equal to, I'm writing something called green. Now you can check this, that may be available into to you in a green color. Yes, like this we can access the elements. It's look like a document dot get element by id, but little bit different. There you can get the element, but you will get an object here. Ref is an object, ref having a something called current. The current contain the element which we are going to handle, right? So this is the refs demo. Like this, the same we implemented in the class component. We seen form handling also. Same you can do here also, right? The next thing here, you can check this, what we are going to see. This is the final and custom hooks in the part of custom hook. What is a custom hook? Why should I create a custom hook? What is the necessary of creating a custom hook? Tell me one thing. React is providing some predefined hooks. We've seen as of now some hooks: use state, use effect, some kind of hooks we discussed about it, right? Use effect, use reducer, something like this we discussed. Use memo, use callback, use ref, something we discussed, right? Okay, these are predefined. And moreover, each and every hook has its own responsibility. Some hooks are maintaining the state, some hooks are to maintain the side effects, some hooks are for performing the performance optimization, some hooks are for accessing the DOM, something like this. We are having hooks. Each and every hook has its own individuality. Sometimes what happen, you are thinking that you want to reuse some function, reuse some logic into the functional components. Definitely, every time you don't want to write the logic. In this point of time, what we will do definitely, and that functionality is not provided with the React. So there is a functionality you are expecting, you are looking for a functionality. That functionality is not available in React, but the functionality you need in multiple places, not only in one place. In this point of time, React is not providing. Definitely what you will do, you will write the functionality in each and every component, or else we can create a hook and we can keep the hook into a separate file and we can access wherever we want. This is simply, I want to term it as a custom hook. All the custom hooks are going to be created. I don't know how many hooks you are going to create it. All the hook names, all the custom hook names, all the custom hook names starts with, all the custom hooks name starts with use your hook name. Andy, this is the hook name. You have to take something called your hook name. I mean, what I want to do, use title, this is my hook. Or else I want to create the use title is not predefined, right? Can you see all predefined hooks also start with the keyword called use keyword, use keyword, use keyword. In the same manner, our hooks also, custom hooks also will start with a name called use hook, right? Something like this, .js or something like this. And I want to write update title. I want to write one more thing called update title hook. That's .js. You can take any name here, no problem. This is your hook. What I will do, let me show you how can we create a hook here. So now I'm going to create a hook. Let me do one thing. First of all, for this creating hook, let me do a small functionality. We already implemented the functionality document title update, I believe, right? So if I click the button, it has to increment, and as well as document title also should be updated. You click it 0 times, you click it 10 times, something like we implemented earlier, right? Okay, let me create a file and let me see how we can create a hook, custom hook for that file. Let me create one thing. I'm going to create one component. This is going to be update title.js. I'm creating one file. Oh, it is already there. Doc title. Let us take the hook name as doc title.js. Okay. It's going to be RFC. It's a functional component, right? Here, what I want to do, you can take a button, open, button, close. Perfect. And in this, what you will do, you clicked times, something like I take it. Definitely what you have to take, you have to take the state, right? Let me go there. I'm taking use the state. Come there. You can define the use state hook here. Use state hook is defined equal to, sorry, use state hook have two parameters. Sorry, each state hook having initially 0, it will return two parameters, right? Okay. I'm taking destructuring an array. So here we can take something called count comma, and you can say set count is the method we are having. Set count is a method. So now what we can do, we can display the counter here directly, COUNTR. So you can see what we are doing. You will understand in a minute. So let us remove this. I'm writing something called doc title DOC. DOC title, right? Component is imported. No, it is not imported, I believe. DOC TITLE, doc title from doc title. Right, doc title from doc title is imported. Fine. So now you can check this. We had a button here, that's all. And we are not doing anything. You can go and check this. You click it 0 times. I think you can see the tab title. Right now, my tab title is going to be React app. That's the tab title we are having. On click the button, I have to increment. On click, Let us do inline increment here directly. What is the function we are having? Use set count, set count set count. To this I'm passing prove state, prove state dot plus one. I'm taking something like this. Let us do one thing, or simply set counter plus one also you can take it, no problem. Right, I'm taking like this. I'm clicking this, value getting incremented, right? So you are able to see values increment. But is my title is updating? Title is not updating. Title was simply like this. So what I need to do, title should be updated on load the page, and if the state updated also, title should be updated. The best place is nothing but in the functional component we can go for a use effect hook. Why we will write use effect? Use effect is an equivalent of uh, component did mount and component did update, and I will unmount also. I mean, once the document has been loaded, title should be updated. If there is a change in the state, title also should be updated. So now what I'm doing here, you can take use effect. In this, take a callback function. This is going to be and dependency array. The dependency array is nothing but your counter, right? This is going to be the count. Now we can see inside the function what we will do. We will write the function document.title equal to, I'm taking you clicked dollar counter times. This is what I written there. That's all. Now you can go and check this. What will be happen? You can see. Now you can see onload the page. My title is you clicked 0 times. Onload the page. Now you can refresh the page. I'm incrementing this. Now you can see the value getting incremented. Now I incremented 8 times. My tab title also updated 8 times. The same functionality is required for another component also. Now you can see I'm going to write something into doc title e-written. Let us write one more component, um, doc title dotitle doc title 1.js. See, multiple component this may be required. That's why I'm writing like this. Whatever the functionality I written here, I'm copy pasting the same here. Every page, when you are into a page, I have to update the title of the page. Definitely, if you want to update the title of the page, you have to not only in one component, in every component, under which component you are there, that component title I have to update. Even if there is a change in the state, I have to update it. Then it's a good idea. Now the same functionality, doc title 1, and this is also doc title 1. Can you see the same logic you written here, you written there, right? Now what I want to do, in this point of time, I understand that this should be written in each and every of my component. Then what I will do, let me create a hook. Do one thing, you can create one folder. I'm creating one folder with name called hooks. I mean, all the custom hooks you can save inside of it. It's not predefined. I taken a folder with a name called hooks. Why I taken like this? Is it predefined? No, you can take any name to the folder. I want to save all the hooks which I'm creating into the following folder. That's why I'm taking like this. So I'm going to write use doctitle.js. This is the hook I'm creating. Use doctitle.js or update doctitle.js, anything. So it's a simply I'm creating a functional component. Actually, it should be, there is no nothing. I don't have anything here. So this is our doc title, and React also not required, I believe. Import React also not required. See, this function will expect a parameter. What is the parameter? Some, I don't know, some parameter it will be expect, right? Some org. I'm taking the parameter name as some orgs or org, whatever it may be, you can take it. Now, what is the logic you are reusing here? This is the logic you are reusing, right? Do one thing. The same I'm going to remove. I'm going to keep into the use doc title hook, and that's all. And here you have to import user effect, and user effect is not required inside of it. Now you can see you have user effect hook. Now remove user effect hook, and I'm removing, this is my component now. Can you see? And one more thing, in this doc title also, this is not required. I'm removing this counter, remove this, and you can remove use effect also here. We moved the logic into a separate file, right? Yeah. So earlier in each and every file you written, now I moved the logic into a separate file. This is what exactly the thing. So here it is args, right? The args you have to pass here, and the same args I'm going to keep there. This is exactly your docs. Now you can go and check this. Now you have to import this, right? Use doc title and you have to import. It is already doc title is exported. Now you can see I'm going to write something called use doc title is the component now you created. To this just pass the parameter. And what is the parameter you have to pass? You have to pass something called counter. That's all. Right. So that logic, whatever the logic you have there, you are not writing anything. You're simply leaving. Now you can go there. In this also, in the doc title one also, let me do one thing. What is the component we are having? Use doc title. In the doc title, you have to pass something called counter. I'm just passing the counter. Now let me check this. What is going to be happen here? If I can click this, it is updated, right? Now you can see I'm incrementing the count, and you can see that they are incrementing. And you can do this doc title one also, you can import into app.js. So now you can see I'm going to add doc title doc title title one component also I'm importing. You can go and import this doc title one also here, doc title one, and this is also doc title one you imported. And if you can refresh there, you can see there are two buttons are there. One is in the one and other one is the something like this. You can check this. Now you can, if you want, you can write your own message. This is dc1 doc title 1, and this is simply dc. I want to make some differentiation here. If you can click whatever you want, you can click it. Now you can check this, everything. This is doc title 1. You can click this, state is updating, and you can click this also, state getting updated automatically, which one you are interacting. So like this, we can create our own hooks into the separate file, and we can access the hooks here for reusing the functionality. Simply says, what is a hook? Hook will provide some additional functionality. Simply says that additional functionality means sometimes we have to reuse the same functionality each and everywhere and wherever we want. In this point of time, this hook will help us a lot. This is what exactly the concept of use custom hook creation as well as use ref hook, guys. These are all about the hooks. The next thing we need to talk about, some, I told you, right, some pending concepts are there in the thing. One is going to be HOC, higher order component, we have to discuss about it. And one more is going to be React fragments. Let us see React fragments. Let me talk about HOC now, and I will talk about React fragments if I have free time, or else we will see tomorrow. No problem about it. React fragments won't take much time. They will just 5-10 minutes is enough to work with the React fragments. Now let us talk about higher order component. What is this higher order component? You can see it is also the same look like a hook only. So it is also for reusing the logics. Same functionality. You can see what I want to do in the class component, how we can implement this higher order component. For example, I have a functionality, I have some functionality increment counter. For example, I have a function increment counter. This function is going to be reused in multiple components. This function is going to reuse it in multiple components, including functional component, including class component also. This is going to be reused in multiple places. Then what we need to do in this point of time? Definitely the same. We have to define the state and we have to take and everything inside of it. Whatever the logic you are thinking that there is going to be reusable for each and every component, keep the logic into a HOC that we can reuse wherever you want. How this is going to be work? Like this, what you did for this now, let me do the same functionality for this also. Now this time I'm going to create a class component. Let me show you how a higher order component will be implemented to reuse the logic. Let me remove these two things from here. Higher order component is especially for reusing the logics between the components. How higher order component will work, that we need to see. It will accept parameters also. Higher order component is nothing but a function. It's nothing but a separate JS file. It's not a component. We have to create a separate JS file. In that JS file, we will write one function. That function will provide the reusable logic to our components. How that will be? Let me do one thing. I'm going to create one component. Let us write something called counter5.js. I'm creating a file, counter 5, counter 6. Let us take like this. So RCE class component. We know that how to increment and decrement the functionality we implemented already, right? Let me do one thing. I think after long back, we are writing a class component. Now I'm writing rconst constructor. You can define the state counter is 0. Now here in the component, I'm having a button. Counter 5. I'm writing the thing as a counter 5 is the thing. Counter 5 is the component. You can check if you want to, you can take one h1 tag also. You clicked this dot state dot counter times this dot state dot counter times. Simply I written something like this. Let me add one HR tag also here. I want to create one more component. First import this into the component here, counter. Sorry, what is the component we are having? Counter 5 is the component, it is imported. Go and check this. We can see the counter component. You clicked 0 times because I didn't do anything. For this, let me increment counter function. On click the button equal to this dot increment counter. Now I am going to increment the counter equal to, right? We have to write the set statement that this dot set state in this counter plus 1. Now you can check this. If I click the button, it will be incremented, right? Yeah, that is getting incremented. Now I'm going to take one more. This is going to be counter 6 component. Let me do one thing. I'm going to create one more component. The one more component is going to be counter 6. Let us implement something called counter 6.js. This is the component I have. I'm creating. Let me rename it as a counter 6. Check this carefully. You can go on top and you can rename it as a counter 6. Same functionality is implemented inside it also. Nothing difference. Now here only the label is changed. Counter 6. Perfect. Now you can go to this app and you can implement counter 6 also. Counter 6 component is imported. If you can refresh the page, now you can check this. You clicked 0. This is counter 6, this is counter 5. Same functionality available in counter 6, same functionality available in counter 5. Nothing difference. So in this point of time, what I will say, I don't want to write this logic. This state and logic is common in these components. Then what I need to do? Will you hard code it? No. The same way, now how we can achieve this by using higher order component. Let us see. Already we seen the same in the use effect. So for using the some logic, here we are going to see something called how it is going to be provide the logic to our components. All right. So let me do one thing. I'm going to create one reusable JS file. It is not a component. I'm writing some with file name called with counter or something, whatever it may be. Counter reusable counter. File name is your choice completely with counter.js. I created a file like this. I'm going to create a function actually. This is the function. Actually, this is all not required. Okay, with counter. The file is with counter and this is also not required actually. File name and same. Right now you can see I'm going to create a function updated component. I'm writing one thing called updated component equal to this function will always expect the parameter. And finally, we have to export default updated component. This should be exported. This function will always expect a parameter original component, original original component as a parameter. I will talk about this. What is the original component? It's not predefined. You can take any name here. Component. What is the original component? Remember, inside this, we are going to write one class. You can see class, new component, extends React dot component. That's all. This is a class. We know that every class will have a render method. Let us do one thing. Render. Render is a method. In this render method, you have to return the JSX, right? Return the JSX. What is the JSX? You don't do anything. I am going to return the original component. ORI, original component is going to be written. That's all. We don't want to do anything. Understand, guys? This is just I'm returning. And this function will return new component. New component. It should return the new component. That's all. If see what we did, it's not. I'm not having anything. Check this carefully. This is a function you created. To this function, you are passing one parameter. And I created a class inside of it. My class name is new component or any name you can take it, no problem. And react.component. In the render method, what is the component you have passed it to me? That component I'm returning again. I mean, if we can call this function, wherever you have in our component, this will be returned to you, right? But what I have to do, whatever the reusable logic you define here, remove the reusable logic and remove the reusable logic from here. This is the reusable logic you have. I removed the logic from that file and from this file. And you can also remove the logic. Just keep the logic inside of this class component. That's all. Right? I'm just going to keep the logic inside the class component. You can see how I will do this exactly. Right? This is going to be done perfectly. No, you added the logic. This is the reusable logic, right? That reusable logic we removed from the other components. Now, this logic we have to pass to this original component as a prop. Let us see. I'm taking one variable, one prop equal to counter this dot state dot counter. This dot state dot counter. Here, one more is going to be action, right? So the action name is going to be increment counter is there. You can take any name here, no problem. This dot state dot, sorry, this dot increment counter, something like this. You can. Function name is your choice completely. Whatever the name you want to take, you can take it. So here, this is a prop na. Prop name could be your choice, but I taken the same name, prop name, and my variable name and everything is same. So no problem. You can take any name here. Right now, you can see this is done. Now, how this data will be passed to your counter file? And this is the component you created. This is not component, this is the function you created. To this function we are passing a parameter. This is the parameter we are passing, and this is a reusable logic. What it is doing, it is written the component with the reusable logic as a prop. Can you see? This is the props, this is the data you have defined, and this is the action you defined that we are passing to this component as a prop. For example, now here you can come down. So how can we access that component? The component name is updated component, right? To this, we have to pass our counter 5. Can you see, Andy? This is updated component, and I'm passing a parameter to this as a counter 5. Can you see what you did? This is the updated component. Now the original component is nothing but your counter 5 component. To this counter 5 component, it will be simply says it original component will be replaced with the counter 5. Counter to the counter 5 component, we are passing prop as a counter and increment counter. It is going to be as a props. Then how can we access them here? Definitely, this is not going to be accessed like this. You know one thing, this dot props, this dot props dot counter. This is the way you have to access it, Andy. This dot props dot, you can check this increment counter. This is the way you need to do it. But you did not write the logic. Can you see? Did you write the logic anywhere? Increment, decrement? No. This logic is written in a separate file. This logic is written in a separate file. In the same manner, I want to go here also. This dot props dot counter. This dot props dot increment counter. That's all. Now you can go and check this. I'm refreshing the page. Okay. This what? Oh, 1 minute. Something went wrong here. Oh, here we have to pass it, right? Do one thing. Counter 6 also updated component, right? Updated component. To this we have to pass the counter 6. In the same manner, counter 5 also updated component you pass. Let me check this. What happened? I'm having an error. Oh, why this error is coming? Let me check this. Original component is using incorrect casing. Oh my god. I think it should have capital O, right? Original. It should be take the parameter as O, capital O. and you can take this as a capital O. It should be like this. Original component should have proper casing. Okay, let me refresh the page. Now you can see they're all working. Now, if you can click this counter 5, value is incrementing. If I can click this counter 6, the value getting incremented. Now, what we did, we moved the entire logic into a separate file. And that logic we are passing to this component. Can you see this is very important thing? So updated component. I think earlier you written, sorry, do you, I think in the functional component, somewhere you written react.memo memo in this you passed counter 5 counter 6 some component names you passed, right? Do you remember what react memo will do? If there is a change in the state, then only it will be called, otherwise it won't be called. That is, react memo is also a higher order component. Tomorrow in Redux also we'll use one higher order component. Connect is a higher order component. To this we have to pass our component as a parameter, right? How this is going to be done, we will see in the upcoming session. This is what exactly the concept of higher order component. Okay, right. Next one is going to be the fragments that we can talk about at any time. The next, I will start tomorrow Redux. Redux setup and the purpose of Redux and how to work with the Redux, that we can see tomorrow. Okay, right. So any doubts, let me know please guys here.